last Sunday we were studying the very important verse of the second chapter, which speaks of how we should work in society. In fact, the whole Gita is dealing with work. It is centered in work. Unlike in other books, man-centered in meditation, centered in worship, centered in some ritual or ceremony. But in this book, man-centered in work. The work-centered individual. Krishna is teaching such people, and they are the majority in the world. The philosophy of work. And so he has said in this verse 47, Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu gadajana ma karmaphala hesabhuhu ma te sangos gakarmani. To work, you have the right. That is the first proposition. Second, none of the fruit thereof. You have no exclusive rights for the fruits of your work. Then the third proposition, ma karmapala hetu bhu. Let not the fruit of action be the motivation for your work. And the fourth proposition, ma te samgostu akarmani. Don't be attached to inaction also. If action doesn't produce results for me, why should I work? Let me keep quiet. Don't do so. These are the four propositions. So last Sunday, I was expounding this very difficult verse. You can always question, every student will question, if I don't get the fruits of my work, what's use of work? We always ask that question. It is good to ask that question and try to find the answers. So last Sunday, I refer to the stages of the ego in evolution, quoting from The Science of Life by H.G. Wells, V.P. Wells and Julian Huxley, written about 60 years ago, a bulky book. Towards the end of the book, dealing with modern biology, there is a section dealing with the philosophical implications of modern biology. I quoted from that section dealing with the unreality of the ego. Remember that word. This ego in man, what I call the self, may be one of nature's devices. I am quoting, at least in this case, the exact sentence. Sometimes books read 50, 60 years ago, you may not be able to quote exactly. But I remember about 3 or 4 Sundays ago, I referred to a particular line in English poetry. Our hearts are beating funeral marches to the grave. And I said, it is from great energy. Sorry, it is not from great energy. It is from Longfellow's poem, The Song of Life. Small such slips will come when you read it, books read long ago. But the substance of the teaching is there. But in this case, I am giving the exact sentence that this ego in man may be one of nature's devices. You have nowhere else in the world you find this ego. In the whole cosmos you don't find the ego. In the whole animal world you don't find the ego. Only in man you find it. So it may be one of nature's devices. A convenient provisional delusion of considerable strategic value in evolution. A provisional delusion. And we are basing our work on this provisional delusion. I. And the authors say this I dies as soon as you go to sleep. What a powerful eye it is. And yet, when you go to sleep, there is no eye at all. Ramakrishna, in one of his beautiful sayings, he says, even the most powerful man, when he goes to sleep, if a child spits on his face, he is not there to protest. He is absolutely not there. That ego is gone. And then the author will say, this is similar to what we speak of detachment, objectivity. Suppose you want to know the truth of a thing, you have to remove this ego from the calculation. Ego will always wrongly judge a thing. You must detach yourself from the ego. Then only judgment is possible. Correct judgment. A judge in the court must banish his ego for the time being if he is to be correct in his judgment. So, in a number of occasions in life, we are asked to set aside this ego because it is unreal, because it is not our true status. That is the main truth about it. But you can go beyond and understand what exactly the root of this ego. What is it towards which it is going to develop? That is the infinite self. That Atman is one with all. The true self in man is one with all. You and I are one. When Jesus was asked, what is the teaching and the commandment? He said, two things. Thou shalt love thy God with all thy heart, with all thy soul, with all thy mind. That is the first and the greatest commandment. And the second is like unto the first. And what is that? Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two hangs all the law and all the prophets. A beautiful summary of the spiritual and ethical dimensions of human life. Paul Royson, German philosopher, speaking in Bombay in 1892 after his tour in India, a great scholar in Vedanta, he says, here is a statement, love thy neighbor as thyself. But why, if you ask, the Bible has not given the answer. The answer is in the Upanishads. You are your neighbor. You are one. There is only one infinite self, pulsing in you, in me, in all, in this world. And therefore, from this genetically limited ego, which considers the whole world as planets around the sun which is itself, from this position, we shall have to advance, realize our true dimension. If you want to do so, then this detachment is absolutely essential. Detach from the ego. That's why this whole book is a teaching of detachment. It is a negative concept, but its positive content is by detaching from something lower, you are manifesting something higher. Gandhiji's book on Gita is called Anasakti Yoga. Yoga of non-attachment. Non-attachment to not money, clothes, this and that. Non-attachment to this tiny ego centered in this organic system. Everything is its own. This is not true actually in life. Even in family. A man works for whom? The wife, or the husband, or the children, for their welfare, not for his own. In every department you will find we are concerned with the society in which we live. We owe a debt to it. So everything is not our own. The social context of human behavior, human life. That's why we pay taxes. We get an ordered society, there's a government, it has a due from us, and we pay. Similarly, many other obligations are there in society. Everything is not one's own. When we understand this truth, we expand our concept of self. is the first thing we have to do, how to expand the concept of the self. The self that is tied up within this organic system is only a convenient provisional delusion. When you set it aside, you begin to expand your concept of self. You are also myself, you are also myself. So whatever I do, the fruits are not to be coming to me. It will go to all. And a stage will come, there will be nothing of I left. Everything will be you, everything will be thou. We lose ourselves in the universal. And then the authors say, this is what mystical teachings have taught us all the time. The little self must be transcended. This is only a means, not an end. Similarly, modern biology teaches, you forget yourself as Tom, Dick and Harry and realize yourself as man, Homo sapiens. That is your real identity, one with all the other Homo sapiens that are there. Now this is the correlation between the spiritual current here and the modern scientific current. When you penetrate deeper into reality, in this light we can understand a little more this enigmatic proposition, four-member proposition. To what you have the right, not the fruit thereof. Don't be running after the fruits and don't remain inactive. Man's tendency is, if I am not to get another self, why should I work? This tendency has become maximum in India, in our society. In spite of all the religiosity that we are utter failures when it comes to social problems, social welfare. Public property is nobody's property. Public tax is nobody's tax. We are also concerned only with our own tax. We won't allow water to flow. But the tax in the street I don't mind, because it's not mine. This kind of littleness of I has overwhelmed this nation. A little of this teaching will do us immense good. That there is a society around you. Its welfare is also your concern. Even to become a citizen of a nation, you must go beyond this little self. Everything is not your own. There are people around you. They need your work and service. When we realize this truth only, we become citizens. So Krishna said in the 3rd chapter, he who cooks only for himself, he eats only so much of sin. That's what he says. Bhunjadete kaham papa, ye bachanti atma karana. Those who cook and eat only for oneself, never thinking of others, they eat only so much of sin. This is a very strong statement in the 3rd chapter of the Gita, to which we shall come later. But in this context, this self is only a delusion, said Buddha. There is no separate self. Belief in a separate self, separate individuality, is the center of all evil. All selfishness, all violence, all exploitation come from that particular attitude. Therefore, when I realize my belongingness to a society, I can't attribute all the fruits of my work to myself. The word self becomes wider, wider, wider. That is the criterion of human development. A little baby will always say, I. He wants everybody to look to it. If he says something, he must listen. But he is the center. It is good for a baby, not good for a grown-up person. He has to respect other people, respond to other people, work for them, help them. There is so much of intercommunication in society. All this is based upon this one single teaching at the beginning of the 2nd chapter. Do work. Don't appropriate the results to yourself. There is a higher point of view from which you can do your work. That higher point of view must come to us today. In fact, as I said several times, the public sector undertakings will become a great success in India. That they understand it is a teaching. What is not physically mine, but belongs to all, I must take more care of it. That one lesson can transform our social situation. But it is just the opposite. Because it doesn't belong to me, it doesn't concern me, I am not interested in it. So public sector will be a failure so long as this character is not there. But when we learn this lesson, we will see tremendous development. No private sector can compare with public sector. Today the whole thing is opposite. In any country you go, government schools are the most efficient. In India it is just the opposite. Private schools are always efficient, government schools are always bad. Right? Therefore, this petty, selfish attitude to work has ruined the whole nation. I. The English saying is perfectly correct with respect to our history. I and mine, and the devil take the hindmost. So we did it, and all the devils came here. We have plenty of devils play in India of exploitation and suffering. We want to overcome that situation. So here comes a profound message. So deep, the more you go into it, the more you get meaning out of it. Though on the surface, it is enigmatic, even unsatisfactory. I do the work, somebody else will take the proof. That's how we put it in a very crude way. But it is very deep. So, ma karma phala hetu. Let not the fruits of your action be the motivation for your action. Ma desam gostu akarmani. Don't be devoted to inaction. Since I am not going to get anything, why should I work at all? Don't take that attitude also. The next sloka, 48, gives you the positive approach to the subject of work. If you ask me not to run out of the fruits of action, that is negative. What shall be the attitude of my mind at the time of my action? That is the theme of verse 48, the beautiful verse. Yogastha kuru karmani sangam tyakva dhananjaya siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Here that word yoga comes once again. What is yoga? Samatvam is yoga. Equanimity. If the mind is perfect balance, that's called yoga. Samatvam, yoga uchyate. But then, what mind of you I shall adopt during work and human relations? Yoga kuru karmani. Do actions from the point of view of yoga. Established in yoga, do actions. That buddhi yoga, which I come earlier, that buddhi yoga is the attitude from which we can work and achieve most effective work. Yoga kuru karmani. Sangam tyakva, giving up attachment. That attachment that comes from this little ego. All attachments come from that little man. That attachment has to go. But how does it go? When you deny this little man. When that little ego is removed, the larger self begins to manifest. Therefore, yogastha kuru karmani. Sangam tyakva. Dhananjaya, siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva. Be even-minded in siddhi and asiddhi, success and failure. Too much of depression in failure, too much of elation in success is not proper. Therefore, try to keep the mind even. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva. I remember reading the Mahabharata, the story of a young prince of the northern Sindh region getting defeated in one of the battles, and he became depressed. If he had succeeded, he would have been very proud, but he was Defeated, so he became depressed. The mother was a heroic woman. Vidura was the name of the mother. Vidula. Son's name was Sanjaya. Not the heather, but another Sanjaya, was the king of northern Sindh. That mother, the heroic mother, told his son, don't remain depressed like this. Be manly, be strong. Failures come, success come. You should not deal with all of them. They are like waves in the sea. Constantly they will be there. You must be above them. And then we have heard a famous line. In a small number of words, so much meaning and power are compressed in that statement of Vidura. She said, looking at this boy, young prince, Muhurtam Jvaridam Shreyo, Nata Bhumaidam Chiram. It is better you flame forth for one instant than smoke away for ages. What a language. Just a brief utterance. What a tremendous message for every human being. Muhurtam Jvaridam Shreyo, Nata Bhumaidam Chiram. Go on smoking for ages. But one is there. Flaming for one instant, then disappear. Doesn't matter. What a beautiful thing. The English poet Ben Jonson speaks of, in small proportions do we but beauty see, in short measures life made perfect be. A Shankaracharya of 32 years, what a wonderful life he was. Short but intense. And in fact even today we have of his life and work. So in this way, a very manly, heroic philosophy will contain all these elements. All those petty attitudes of I and mine, I don't care for others, we have had enough of it in India. That heroic attitude must come today. Muhurtam Jvaridam Shreyo, Nata Bhumaidam Chiram. So he said, Yogastha Kurukarmani. Do actions from a particular level of consciousness. It's a big subject, this subject of level of consciousness. In the West today is a very, very attractive theme. How to raise our consciousness levels. After all, what is man's action? From a particular consciousness level, that action comes. If there is another level, another action will come. A criminal has one action. His consciousness level is in a particular state. A very generous man also has action. His action comes from another consciousness level. And so this subject of raising consciousness levels, both of Unnamana, is a very attractive subject in all Western countries today. It should be so for our own country. If an officer or a clerk in a secretariat is unconcerned with the people, his activity comes from a particular level of that little ego, that professional delusion called the ego. He has no concern for others at all. As soon as you find another person interested in the people who come, what can I do for you? I want to help you. His action comes from another consciousness level. So that consciousness level from which positive actions come, positive good to society will come. That's called yoga level, yoga buddhi level. So yoga sattva. Do work from that vantage ground of yoga. Siddhya siddhyo samo bhutva. Be even-minded in siddhi and asiddhi. And then finally comes samatvam yoga uchyate. Yoga is equanimity, balance. That's the nature of yoga. Every experience throws the mind into a wave. Small wave, big wave. You have the power to control that wave formation. If you exercise that power, you are a free person. You are really using your higher cerebral system. If you don't, you become like a creature of circumstances. Somebody says you weep, and you weep. Somebody says You smile, you smile. You have no interest, you have no freedom in yourself. That should not be. I shall smile when I want to. Not because somebody dictates to me. Nature dictates to me. That's called freedom. The whole of this teaching is based upon human freedom. From freedom we come, in freedom we live, on the freedom we return. That is the Vedantic teaching, said Swami Ranganathananda. And so here, the capacity to keep the mind in balance when so many circumstances come to unbalance it, that is the real test of human greatness, human strength. So many examples are there in this connection. From the highest level of a Buddha up to ordinary levels of greatness in our society, you find many types of this achievement. But every step that you take in that direction to show that you are free from external constraints is progress, human progress. That is to be emphasized again and again. Some time ago, I referred to modern neurology telling us about this thermostatic equilibrium within the body and similar other equilibria within the human system, like the constitution of the blood, etc. Everything is in balance. When it is upset by work, it automatically becomes in balance. That is the homeostatic condition of the human body. That is a wonderful achievement, not by you and me, but by nature, for the later mammals, and for us, this kind of homeostasis. And there, the famous French physiologist had said, and I quoted it on the earlier Sundays, that a fixed interior milieu is a condition for the free life. If you want to truly achieve freedom, you must try to establish a fixed interior milieu. Not a milieu which is being made up and down by external forces. So to that extent, you are progressing towards your life's perfection. So a fixed interior milieu we have to establish. This is a very difficult subject, and so Grewalker, in his book The Living Brain, Grewalker, England, there he discusses this subject in a very fascinating passage. He said, our teacher was Sir Joseph Barcroft in Cambridge. He used to lecture to us about the significance of homeostasis in evolution. And he had wonderful examples to give. And one such example he said, how many, I'm quoting from Grewalker, the words of Sir Joseph Barcroft. How many times I have taken a boat and sailed on the lake and watched so many bubbles coming both sides of the boat, ripples, and they meet together, form a new pattern of ripple, and it's a wonderful thing to observe at the time. The various patterns formed by the various actions of the boat on the water. Then he says, but one condition must be fulfilled to make those patterns. The water must be perfectly calm. The lake must be perfectly calm. To expect high patterns in the stormy Atlantic is impossible. Similarly, to expect high intellectual development in a mind which has not achieved a measure of stability is simply impossible. So all intellectual growth, creative growth, and spiritual growth need this prior stabilization of the human psychic system. Samatvam yoga uchyate. That is yoga, which is based on this samatva, calmness, balance. Everything tries to unbalance me. There is a system in me which balances it automatically, as the body does it. So a physical homeostasis, which nature has given to you, must be complemented by A psychic homeostasis you gain for yourself by your own efforts. This inner homeostasis is what is meant by the two great words of our spiritual tradition, namely Shama and Dhamma. Shama is discipline of the mind. Dhamma is discipline of the senses. When Shama and Dhamma operate in me, then this Samatva becomes well established. Shama Dhamma. They are highly significant words in our spiritual tradition. Shama and Dhamma. So, Dhamma is this riotous sensory system is controlled and calm. And Shama is, the mind also is riotous because it is tied to the sensory system. That mind also made we calm at a time. This becomes a natural state by constant practice of these two virtues. Then comes this achievement, samatvam. That is yoga. There is nothing what you call impossible, nothing magical, nothing mystical about it. Anybody can do it, anybody can achieve it here and now in the process of work. And one great lesson Vivekananda stresses again and again is a calm, steady person that turns out the largest quantum of work, not the excited, unsteady type of people. They may make noise, the work will be very poor. Calm, steady people, wonderful work they will do. This is what we have to learn. So, this is the great teaching Krishna giving us. Work, but the consciousness level from which your work proceeds must be of that nature. Stable, steady, that's called Buddhi Yoga. Yoga Buddhi. Buddhi established in Yoga. That state is the best from which all actions can come. There will be always good, there will be good for all, and good for oneself also, unless they have that samatvam within. They can't summon a tremendous energy to make the world move in that particular direction. And so for all of us, as much as we can, even one step ahead is good for us, for making our life efficient. And yoga is going to be defined later on in verse 48 as efficiency in life and work. So there is nothing magical. Our people must banish all idea of magic and miracle from this philosophy. This is down to earth. Take a man by the hand, slowly lift him up and take him to the highest level. That's what this philosophy does. Everything is clear. Everything can be communicated. It can be practiced. It is difficult. All great things are difficult. Even climbing a small hill is difficult. But the more difficult, the more will be the challenge to the great mind. I don't want easy life. That attitude must come. Then only you can have a nation of heroic minds. No easy life. I am prepared to pay the price and get it. No charity. That's a wonderful idea. In India, the Sikh Gurus from Guru Nanak to Guru Gobind Singh, they were the people who taught this wonderful idea of self-reliance. Don't seek for easy life. Work hard. Don't beg. Work and earn. Nowhere in India you will find the command of that great teaching in the life of the people as you find in Punjab from these gurus. Even the most difficult times of partition, refugees are coming absolutely empty pockets. Nobody will beg. Only asking for work. There you can see the tremendous energy coming out of this little discipline which the Gurus gave. So the whole nation stands to gain by applying even a little of this Gita teaching. And this Gita is inspiring thousands of people in all parts of the world. Only today I was reading our famous Riaz Kapra, Professor Kapra of Berkeley University, author of that famous book, Bhagavad Physics, telling an interviewer, I first got interest in Eastern thought by studying the Bhagavad Gita. That put me on in this direction. So many are reading all over the world, so that after some decades, the effect of all this study and teaching and practice will be found in a better humanity, more pure, more compassionate, more intelligent, more efficient. The yoga of the Gita sponsors all these virtues and graces in people in all parts of the world. And so, in this verse of number 48, Yoga Guru Karmani Sangam Tyaktva Dhananya Siddhya Siddhau Samo Bhutva Samatvam Yoga Uchyate. It's a beautiful idea. Even at the age of 4 and 5, a child must be taught a little samatva. Children are generally excitable. There is no harm at their age, but they must be slowly initiated into this. Now try to calm your mind. Don't be excited all the time. That kind of thing, slowly. That means he is handling his own mind, not the world outside. That is meaning of Shama and Dhamma. The world outside, somebody says, you are a fool, and I become wretched, I become depressed. That man is dead and gone. But I am living a depressed life because somebody said me. That's what an American said. To put your peace of mind in somebody's pocket is the most unfortunate thing you can do. And so learn to put it in your own pocket. I shall determine how I react to any situation. That can come only when the mind has that balance. The balanced position, you can have any reaction you like to a human situation. So when Sir Joseph Barker said, if the sea is calm, if the lake is calm, the lake of the mind, then it will form wonderful ripple patterns in the inner life of man. High intellectual and spiritual development cannot be found in a milieu which has not been calmed and made even. So that is why if you want to become great as a person, you have to achieve all these things. You have to handle your mind. The first thing we have to do is to handle your mind. We rarely do handle our mind. We handle tools. But the biggest tool is the mind itself. We never handle it. We let it go in its own way. So the Gita is going to give us that other teaching. Handle the tools, handle the mind also. The tool of our tools is the mind. Then something great will happen to you. So this is the first definition of yoga. Start from Yoga Uchyate. And 2 slokas later, you will find again just 50, verse 50, another definition which is much more pervasive in meaning and significance. Verse 49 says, Durena Yavaram Karma Buddhi Yoga Dhananjaya Buddhau Sharanam Vichya Kripama Adaketava. These few verses, the heart of the second chapter, are masterly, conveying a profound philosophy for all humanity. In fact, this particular verse, 49, which I read just now, Durena Kyavaram Karma, Buddhi Yoga Dhananjaya, Arjuna, work done with a selfish motive is far inferior to work done from that Buddhi Yoga point of view. Buddha Sharanam Vichya. Take refuge in Buddhi. Develop Buddhi in yourself. Kripana Kadahedava. Those who run after fruits, they are very small-minded, kripana, conjuice as we say in Hindi, they are small-minded. Now this verse was quoted in a public lecture by the Secretary General of the United Nations on a show a few years ago. In quoting this verse, he said, if the world can follow in their life this teaching, the world will be a better place to live in. That is this verse. Durena Kyadaram Dharma Buddhi Yoga Dhananjaya Buddha Sharam Manvichara Kripana Phalahedava. Buddhi is a great word coming again and again in the Gita. Actually, it is the faculty of reason, judgment, discrimination. That is buddhi. It controls or ought to control all the psychic and sensory processes within man. This cerebral system is the instrument of that buddhi. That is psychical, this is physical. So the cerebral system is the latest development of brain in man. That is meant to control, regulate the entire system of the human organism. If we can do so, life will be at a high level. By understanding this and trying to practice a little, anybody can develop this buddhi within oneself. It is manufactured out of the psycho-physical energy system that is within everybody. We only purify that energy. We refine it. Then it becomes buddhi. It's a wonderful idea. I often refer to this subject of refining psychic energies. All high character is based upon the refining of psychic energies. Raw psychic energy gives you crude character. This is a very important subject. We have refineries in India now. We take crude oil and refine that oil, and out of that refinery you get beautiful petroleum products. Even scents you get out of it. Refining is essential. Crude oil, refining. Similarly, nature has given to man a wonderful refinery of experience within the human systems. Take crude experience, refine it, and then send out beautiful products of character, love, compassion, peace, efficiency of work, dedication, out of the crude energy that you get out of your experience. This is a subject which every young student must think about and work out in life. How to refine my experience. Today there is so little refining of experience. The crudity that has come to our life is appalling. Crudity in ordinary human relations. Crudity in politics. Crudity everywhere. Crude. Education is there, but no refinement is there. Psychic energy is there, but no refinement. Raw psychic energy. So that crudity is a sign that I have not used my body-mind complex as a refinery of experience. All these ideas pertain to the teaching that Krishna is giving in this second chapter. Durena Yavaram Dharma Buddhi Yoga Dhananjaya Buddha Sharamanvicha Kripana Phalahedava. Where there is no buddhi, you come from a lower level and work. Then you become a Phalahedava, motivated by fruits. This I must get, this I must get, this I must get. That attitude, I, a bad I all the time. There is no place for you at all in my thinking. That's called Phalahedava. Compared to that, the level of buddhi, you can see through welfare of others, what can I do for them? That attitude is always there. That's called buddhi yoga. Where alone you can have high character energy. From buddhi level, you get high character energy. That buddhi, in our psychological tabulation, is nearest to the Atman, the infinite that is behind you. Next to the infinite Atman is the Buddhi. Buddhi has only to turn back, the Atman is there, the infinite one. Then do all the work here. It's beautiful. That's why when we study the Katha Upanishad, Upanishad gave us a chariot imagery. Human life is a journey to fulfillment. There are two types of journey: external journey, internal journey. External journey is for eating, drinking, education, job, family, children, name, pay. All that's for external journey. In the context of that journey, there is also an inward journey. That inward journey is what makes for character, makes for high spiritual character, religious and spiritual attainments. There you have this beautiful chariot imagery given by the Upanishad in the third chapter of the Katha Upanishad. In that chariot imagery, the driver of the chariot is called Buddhi. He directs the whole movement of the horses of the chariot. Chariot has no energy. All energy is the horses. And the horses need control by the reins. And the reins must be held by somebody. That somebody is Buddhi. And the reins stand for the Manas. This psychic system, below which are the horses, the sensory system, below which is the chariot, namely the body. So Buddhi is the controller, director of the whole journey. He sets the pace of the journey. He can see far ahead, what they call in English far sight and foresight. Study in your own personality. This sensory system has no far sight and foresight. It only knows the immediate, the nearest and the immediate. Psychic system has got a little far sight, better than this sensory system. But when you come to Buddhi, you get high foresight and far sight. Durashti, you can see far ahead through Buddhi. That's called wisdom finally. Not mere intellect. Intellect is not Buddhi. Intellect is purely analytical mind, that's all. But Buddhi combines high pure reason, strong will, and all the purified emotions. You combine together, you get a tremendous instrument for human life and achieving human destiny. That is Buddhi, as defined in the Upanishads, standing for the driver of the chariot. He is to make the pace of the journey. Of course, this side, that side, whatever it be. So, Buddha Sharam and Miksha, he is telling here, don't allow your journey to be conditioned by the chariot, or by the horses, or by the reins, only by the driver of the chariot here. Similarly, the human system, let not the body decide your life purpose. Let not the sensory system decide it, not even the psyche, but the pure reason, enlightened reason in you, that can decide it. That is Buddhi. So he said, Buddha Sharanam and Vichya. Take refuge in Buddhi. Kripanam Halakera. Those who got to the point of view of the ego, taking fruits all for oneself, such people are extremely petty people, small people. Sanskrit word is Kripana. Kripana actually means a very stingy person. The mind is stingy. That's the meaning of Kripana. Here it means you are petty, small. Nothing big will come out of you. So that is the great slogan in 49. Beautiful idea of work and life. All dealing with every human being. Man, women, children, all. No distinction of race, of caste, of nation, or sect or creed. Just a human being, young and old. How shall he live and work? That is coming much more when we deal with the next verse, where yoga is defined in a more complete form, comprehensive form. That is verse 50. We are going to pick it up next Sunday when we meet here. It is a very important verse, the heart of the yoga teaching, the finest and shortest definition of yoga. We shall deal with it next Sunday when we meet here. Thank you. This is such a minute.